Port slow ahead, starboard slow stern, wheels amidship, sir.
The call is made and the ship pulls out. It's a gray, rainy day on the South Island, but that's not dampening the excitement of dozens of naval officers and cadets who are heading out for a day of training on the water. They're on board half a dozen Orca-class ships, fine-tuning their driving, navigation, and operational skills.
Reduce to 15 knots and steady up on 315.
Ready to complete different courses in various stages of their training.
Throughout the year, we're training consistently. These vessels here, the Orca-class vessels, are really the mainstay of the early and formative years of seagoing experience for our officers.
The training on these 210-ton ships is pretty typical, but it's not often half a dozen of them are out at sea at the same time. So today we were invited out to see how these small but fast ships can maneuver amongst one another and what these officers are getting out of this kind of training.
The essence of this course is you need to be able to run the entire boat. So a day like this is fantastic because we can get out, maneuver around, feel comfortable. They're fast ships. You know, they're big but not too big, so there's a little bit of room for error.
So her stern is to it, so she's still working.
Lieutenant Commander James says this course and this day actually puts a lot of pressure on these naval officers because the next step forward in their careers is on a warship.
This ship today, our Orca 55, has what's known as the Command Development Course on board. So these are our more senior students actually. They're about to go off onto the ships as combat officers, weapons directing officers, and the next step in their career really is in the command roles as executive officers and eventually captains.
So this is perfect. It's in between, you know, big enough but not too big, very maneuverable, so you can really learn, you know, how to drive, because that's what this course is basically all about, is how to drive a ship, how to be in charge. You know, on these ships there's not a lot of crew, so you're it.
And when these officers go to sea on the much larger frigates and destroyers, they need to be able to bring the ships alongside so one can help restock the other with supplies. And when those 4,500-ton ships are traveling side by side, going 15 knots, making sure they have the skills to do that successfully is why they're practicing on the smaller ships today.
So these skill sets are still needed to do that. Ships interact, pressure waves and bow waves. So we do it on the smaller ships, interacting close together so that we can do it later to conduct operations.
It's neat to be out on this platform. It's quite a bit more advanced than what the Navy had used in past years and what I did my training on. So it's great to be out here and see how well they handle and how much speed they can get.
Steer 155.
It's a taste of what's to come for many of these officers. One day at sea will soon turn into 3 solid weeks of training, and at the end of it, they'll have the skills to run this ship without a senior officer.
We have a great simulator, but nothing simulates real life, so you really got to get out there, you know, see how the ship reacts.
Near Esquimalt, I'm Nikki Ewanyshyn.